welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we are going to invite you to a new film series at the library, and it's going to be a little different and a whole lot of fun. My guests are David Johnson and Rita Scrivener. Welcome.
Hello, Robin.
You were the impetus for this series. How did this come about?
Yeah, I'll take credit or blame, depending on your point of view, I guess. I've wanted to do this series for a long time, and just couldn't find the venue. I worked at the Casemate Museum forever, quite a few years, and we did military film. We did a military film series, but that was appropriate, but a science fiction series, not exactly.
Well, I was thinking about that, though, and you're talking about military, you're talking about battles, you're talking about invasions here, right?
Yeah, it is.
Not historical ones, but...
No, it's related. And of course, the military often is involved in these science fiction films. So I guess maybe I could have sneaked them in somehow, but it just. But anyway, I talked to Rita about it. She does the other film series at the library, and I just happened to sort of mention it in passing, and she thought it was a workable idea. So she talked to her boss, and so here we are.
And so these are going to kick off June 6th, but this is not just sci-fi movies, which is a broad category. This is a very specific genre of, and I'm going to let you describe it.
Yeah, it's classic science fiction from the 1950s, and more specifically, it's films about alien invasion, which is a whole subgenre of science fiction. And in one or two instances, we should say alien visitation, because we have couple of friendly aliens dropping in, so it's and these are all classic, I think pretty much certified classic films. A lot of people would be familiar with the titles.
Well, let's talk about a couple. Do you have a favorite in here, or just
I do.
Some that are particularly fun to talk about?
Well, I think they're all fun to talk about, but my favorite is Invaders from Mars, 1953 release. Mainly because of the production design and the use of color are very distinctive. It doesn't look like any other film on this list. It's very, very unique. That's not correct. If it's unique, then it's unique.
But yes,
but
okay.
it's a great looking film, and it has a kind of a trick ending, which I will say no more about.
That's right.
No, I don't want to spoil
here.
this. No spoilers, but. A man named William Cameron Menzies is responsible. He gets credit as production designer and director. I can't think of any other film that has a credit like that. But he started.
So he envisioned the whole thing.
He did. It's a relatively low budget film, but he wanted to make it something special, and he did. It's a really great looking film, and I think people who haven't seen it or haven't seen it for a long time will enjoy looking at it again. I always love to look at it. It's just a good-looking film and unique. So,
okay. And another one might be some more typical of the genre.
Well, I guess the first film we're showing, which is The Thing from Another World, as the studio insisted on calling it. That's a curious story, which I'll save it for the show.
And I'll say this at this point too. You're going to host these. So
I will be hosting.
You are a member of the American Film Institute.
I am.
A film buff.
Oh yeah, from way back.
And have a trove of knowledge about these that you're going to share with us.
I will tell you that I saw my first science fiction film on my 7th birthday. My parents were very open-minded. Most parents probably wouldn't let their kids get near a science fiction film when they're 7 years old, but it was a birthday present.
And what was that?
It was The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which is the first film that Ray Harryhausen worked on as special effects. Of course, at the time, the name meant nothing to me. I probably couldn't have even pronounced it, but it's quite a good film, and it was my introduction to sci-fi movies, and I wanted to see more. And it's funny, it seems like every year on my birthday I was allowed to go to the movies. It seems like almost every year they were showing a science fiction film. So I got to see a lot of these things.
Yeah, see, the rest of us might have grown up on, Disney movies
Yeah,
or
yeah. Well, I did
big
that.
family
I
musicals.
did that too,
and
of course.
You were watching were they black? A lot of them are black and white,
They
right?
were mostly.
It's right at that transition.
Yeah, they were
from
almost
black and white to color.
all black and white. Because they were mostly, let's face it, they were pretty much low budget.
They were low
films.
budget, and to make the effects then would have been much more complicated in color.
Yeah.
You could do a lot more in black and white.
Yeah, of course they didn't. I don't think they had blue screens or green screens. They certainly didn't have computer graphics, so they were pretty much on their own. They had to fabricate whatever. But another film I like from that era is The War of the Worlds, the 53 version, which actually got an Academy Award for special effects.
Oh, wow.
And it looks good. I love the little spacecraft they use, little hovercrafts. They look kind of like fiberglass things. They're kind of a blue-green color. They have the ray guns. I think that's what got them the award. It's what people remember mainly from this film, but they still look pretty good.
So these are all made in this era after World War II.
Right.
During kind of the Cold War
Yeah,
period,
very
where
much.
we're very afraid of invasion, more from a different country. But it's also when imagination takes off, film takes off. I mean, what a great period of what we're imagining would be happening in, say the year 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Cold War really plays into this. Because, as you say, people were worried about communist infiltration and whatever else, possible invasion. Although, of course, it never happened, thank heavens. But, so this idea of alien invasion really
sort of projecting our
worked upon people.
fears and concerns. And, of course, it is, truly this beginning to think about other worlds and that possibility and the whole,
Right.
Area 51 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, the major Hollywood studios really had no interest at all in science fiction.
They didn't think it would make money, right?
Yeah, well, it had kind of a low reputation. It was like pulp magazine stuff and comic books and Saturday afternoon movie serials, and, kid stuff. And but then in 1950 that changed. There was this independent production called Destination Moon, which depicted the first landing of Americans, of course, on the moon in glorious Technicolor, and the film was very successful. And suddenly these studios said, well, there's an audience here for this stuff. So they all started lining up their own little projects, and that's some of the earlier films on our schedule are the result of that.
Okay.
So
Rita, if we've never been to a movie at the library, tell us what this looks like and feels like.
Well, there are some advantages to attending a program like this at the library, and we are so excited to be the facilitators of this wonderful program and sort of the aggregators of community knowledge like the kind that David can offer people. And one advantage is the big screen. Of course, it's not a movie screen, but it is projected on a very large wall in our meeting rooms. And even movies that you've seen many times on television, even movies that aren't that old, look incredible on a bigger screen. They're like different movies. And when you see an older movie like this, I'm almost trying to envision a kind of drive-in movie experience like you would have originally seen it under those conditions. And we're going to have popcorn and just kind of that fun, festive atmosphere that they would have originally had. And then we also get the opportunity to discuss the movie and to discuss how the time affected what was being made, what was coming out of Hollywood, all the different societal and historical circumstances that played into it. And also, I find these movies really impressive as technical achievements for their time. That, like David was saying, they didn't have computers, they didn't have special effects the way we think of them now, but they didn't let that slow down their ambition and their imagination to create these exciting and fun stories.
So also it's free, right? That's a big
Yes.
advantage.
Yes.
Let's
Oh, yes.
throw that one in.
Absolutely.
So when do they start? What time? Tell us all the details.
Well, all except one of them is on Tuesday nights at 6:30. Only the second one is on a Wednesday night. We had a little scheduling issue, but that's okay. They're all in the same place. They're all in the meeting rooms at the main library at 4207 Victoria Boulevard. And I'm not sure what else to say about
Runs
the kind of...
runs all summer, right?
Oh, yes, they start on June 6th, and then they're every week until the end of summer.
Yeah,
That is
middle
fun.
of August. Yeah, it's almost the end of, pretty much the end of summer.
Yeah, that
So-
sounds great. And you will be the host and share with us some of these wonderful stories that you've learned through
Well,
the years. About
I'm going to do my best. Yes, I will.
Okay, well, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Oh, I think we've covered it. So,
Okay.
and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. If you are interested in these fun 50s sci-fi alien movies, please go to the website at hampton.gov/library, get the full schedule, pick out which ones you want to see, or download the flyer and put it on your refrigerator so that you always know what's coming up at the library. Thanks for watching.